The Sparring Partner is a 2022 Hong Kong crime drama film, legal thriller. This one is about Henry Cheung, a young man who feels dissatisfied with his life and he murders his parents. A double homicide, but he says he was helped by Angus Tong, a sort of simpleton friend of his. So the two of them are quickly arrested, and the story sort of shifts from Henry's crime over to if Angus actually helped mastermind the thing, or he was just a unwilling patsy. So the movie's really interesting. It's super long, but very absorbing. We're mainly focused on Angus Tong after the first maybe half hour, because we're sort of sure about Henry's guilt. But then we're introduced to 9 jurors. Really quickly, they're introduced. There's all the different sort of things to make them sort of, not all of them are fleshed out. You got the teacher, the old guy, the businessman, the chick with the short hair, the student guy, the philosopher. You got all these. Not all of them get enough screen time, but it kind of feels like 12 Angry Men a little bit. It's mainly going to be about them trying to go over the evidence in the trial, and as the story goes on, we get more and more evidence. The audience learns things, as well as the jurors, and it really starts to unfold into some rich themes about justice and culpability and some societal stuff too. There's a lot of entitlement from Henry. And Angus, has a backstory, and we find out more through witnesses and things like that. The story is very twisty and entertaining, and you can't quite know what's going on. It reminded me of another film that came out in 2023 called Anatomy of a Fall, where the culpability or the guilt or the not guilt of the main character isn't the point, it's the perception. And they never actually tell us what really happened. It's up to us to decide. The court will decide in the movie, but as a viewer, you also have to decide. It really doesn't matter. As someone, a third party looking in from outside, you really can't know either. So this movie plays around with that. A really great camera work in the director approach would be to have sort of the jury in different locations, like they're at the murder scene looking at things, looking at the actors, or they're at a restaurant and other characters in the room. It's a sort of visualization that sort of adds a little pizzazz to it, rather than just a stiff group of people sitting in a room talking. They actually play around with the visuals a little bit. I like that. There's some weird stuff going on with the imagery of Henry because he likes Hitler. So there's a lot of just dream sequences of him just sort of as if he was Hitler. It threw me off a little bit, but it's an interesting little mix of true crime and social sort of themes. It was. I also like that the actors were not super good looking. They're lesser known actors that would be looked down on in society too. I like that they're not super good looking Hong Kong men. They're actually kind of grubby looking weirdos. The movie's super violent too though, so be careful for that. I really enjoyed The Sparring Partner, and I give it a 7.5 out of 10.